Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Ashwini Srinath. I am a chartered accountant. I am a certified CISA and C-Risk professional. For more details about me, you can check into my LinkedIn profile. In this channel, I am going to simplify CISA, C-Risk and information security related concepts so that it is easier for the CISA and C-Risk aspirants in their ISACA certifications. In this video, we are going to learn about what is CISA examination, how is it structured, what is the various expectation from ISACA, who should be pursuing CISA, and what is the exam eligibility requirements, and how yourself can get certified for CISA after you clear the examination. We will also discuss on the CISA domains, what is the syllabus and what is the weightage for each of the domain for CISA. Now, let's get started with what is CISA, who should be pursuing CISA. So what is CISA? CISA is Certified Information Systems Audit, and who is the governing authority for CISA is ISACA. CISA had been there for quite a long time, for past 40 years or so. Why it is considered as a certification with a global responsibility and a global professional? It's because you need to validate your expertise more related to systems audit. As an auditor, you are expected to evaluate the controls and certify how good the assets are protected by the organization. So, as and when you say as a CISA, they are going to evaluate the system, assess what are the risks that are involved in the organization, verify whether the controls are functioning efficiently, not just whether to configure the servers or just to write a coding. So, as an auditor, you are just expected to evaluate on the governance risk management in the organization. So, as an CISA aspirant, you are not required to test any code or expected to configure anything. You just need to think as an auditor whether the controls are effectively designed, whether they are effectively operating in an organization. So who should be doing CISA? So one of the most common question I get is that who should actually do CISA? Is it only IT people? So let me clarify on it. First, it can be done by auditors. Yeah, so more on to internal auditors, let it be IT auditors or external auditors. So if you want to validate your knowledge onto the skills related to the information systems audit, CISA is there for you. You can get yourself for knowledge about the IT as well. So it gives you the ability to apply the audit application more into related to IT infrastructure and processes as well. Second, it can be explored by the IT professional as well. CISA will help you to move to the technical execution to audit, and you can think on the governance perspective as well. So you will understand better as to why exactly the controls exist and how the system works as well. Next is on risk and compliance professional. So if you are into IT risk management or in governance framework, when you want to look for compliance or control perspective, CISA is there for you. You can help to relate related to risk control and assurance as well. Again, any managers or who are the leaders who want to look into managing the IT teams, leading the audit functions, or you're going to oversee the compliance or risk per se, as well, CISA will enable you to ask the right questions to evaluate the controls effectively and take the informed decisions related to governance as well. So these are some people who can explore on related to CISA. Predominantly, the question will be from the aspirants whether do I need any technical knowledge about the subject, technical knowledge as to how I need to apply the coding knowledge as well. That is not expected from an ISACA for a CISA auditor. So you don't need to be a coder or you need not have a deep knowledge into the technology part of it. You are going to just audit it, so you just need to think or align your mindset related to an auditor to get yourself certified for CISA. Now, coming to the eligibility perspective. So what is the eligibility for CISA is that there are two things here. One is on passing the examination. Next one is on getting yourself certified with ISACA. So as a CISA examination, passing doesn't have any prerequisite. to have an eligibility. So you can write the examination. There is no registration fee. You just need to pay the fee, create a login in ISACA, pay the fee, and get yourself prepared for CISA. Then go and write the examination. However, for getting yourself certified for CISA, you need a work experience. So what is expected from ISACA is that 5 years of IS audit or control or assurance or a security experience, which they mention as any of the domains for CISA. So out of the 5 domains, if you have experience in any of the domains, you can write the examination and get yourself certified for CISA. Again, for the 5 years of work experience, you have an exemption, considering your education, considering your work experience. So for an education, they have split it into three. 1 year exemption for if you're holding any associate degree or CCAK or IT audit fundamental. 2 years of an exemption if you hold a master's degree or a doctorate degree, or if you're a qualified chartered accountant or CIMA or ACCA. Maximum of 3 years of exemption for if you are holding any master's degree in the IS audit system. Again, this expertise can be gained either before passing the examination or after you pass the examination, gain the experience and then apply yourself and get it certified from ISACA. This is all about the eligibility criteria for getting yourself certified for CISA. Now, coming to the ISACA scoring, how the scoring happens with the CISA examination. It is not a subjective examination, it is an objective based examination where you have 150 multiple choice questions. Obviously, it is not going to be a direct question or direct theory based question. It is going to be a scenario based question, and every situation you are going to think like an auditor. It is on the real scenario which you are going to face during the audit situation. So it is a 4 hour examination. If you roughly calculate, there will be 1.6 minutes for each of the questions. So time management shouldn't always be the concern, provided you take the mock test during your preparations. And how the questions will be. So it is not a one-liner. It is not going to be just on a simple explanation on the definitions on it. It is going to be a scenario, and you are going to apply your knowledge related to audit or risk or any kind of a governance topic will be tested. Obviously, within the syllabus for ISACA, so you can refer to the CSAT review manual. I will cover in the upcoming videos as to how you need to prepare for the examination, what are the materials you need to cover up or use it for your preparations. More often, the questions will be related to what the auditor should do first, what is the best recommendation, what is the more appropriate action. So you need to think like an auditor, not like a technical engineer or not a techie on it. So you're going to evaluate the controls, how best they are evaluated in the organization, and give a best recommendation and an assurance. So more from a scoring model, how the ISACA does the scoring. CISA uses a scaled score. It is not a weighted average or it is not calculated. It is a scaled score. So the scaled score is 200 to 800 points. During the examination, you will not see the marks. You will not be able to see how much marks a question holds for each of the question. For an easy question, it will be 200 points. For a difficult question, it will be 650 to 700 points. But during the course of examination, you will not be able to evaluate whether it is an easy question or a difficult question. So it is not a percentage system. So passing score is 450. It is not 45% or 90 questions should be correct. It doesn't operate in such a manner. ISACA uses a statistical scaling to ensure fairness across all the examination versions. So it is not disclosed by ISACA on how they calculate the scale score. It is a system-based evaluation. More from an exam perspective, don't try to memorize any concept that is anyways not going to help you during your examination. So try to apply the knowledge which you have learned it during your preparation, which will help you to clear the examination. Take a lot of practice questions, which will help you as to align your mind for an IS auditor. So to conclude, it is not about on getting a technical knowledge or learning coding. It is more on how you are aligning your mindset related to an auditor so that you are able to apply the same in the examination. So if you think logically, you are able to assess the risk, take a decision as an auditor. Even if you are not from a non-IT background, you can still clear the examination. So coming to the exam weightage, what the exam weightage is all about. So in the upcoming videos, I'll cover or break down into the topic on respective domains, what each domain covers on. Here we will cover as to what is a weightage from an exam perspective. So we have 5 domains in CISA and continue having a different exam weightage. So first domain is related to the audit process where it covers 18%. Domain 2 is about governance management and IT, which will cover 18%. Domain 3 is all about project management, SDLC, where it is 12%. Domain 4 and 5, the important domains of CISA, which is related to IS operations, business resilience, BCPDR, which covers around 26%. Domain 5 is about protection of information asset, the most important domain for CISA, which is around 26% each. So these are the various domains with respect to weightages. To totally, there will be 150 objective based question. If you find this video useful, do let me know. So in the upcoming videos, I will cover as to the each domains, what is the exam way of an approach, what are the materials you need to use for the examination, and what is the strategy to prepare. We will get you into step-by-step approach. So stay connected. Let's prepare CISA the right way.